The dark web. Imagine the internet as an iceberg. What we see every day, websites like Google, Facebook and YouTube, is just the tip. This visible part is called the surface web, and it's only about 4% of the entire internet. But beneath the surface lies a vast, hidden world known as the deep web. The name suits it well. This underground world is the part of the internet that isn't indexed by search engines. This includes things like your personal email account, online banking portals, and subscription-based content. It's estimated that the deep web makes up about 96% of the internet. But there's an even deeper layer nestled within the depths of the deep web. This is the dark web, a small fraction of the internet that's intentionally hidden and requires special software to access. Here, anonymity rules, secrets are bought and sold, and the line between privacy and crime becomes unclear. It's this shadowy realm that we'll be exploring today, the dark web. What exactly are we talking about? At its core, it's a collection of websites that exist on encrypted networks and cannot be accessed through standard web browsers. These sites are part of what's known as the dark net, overlay networks that use the public internet but require specific software, configurations, or authorization to access. The most well-known of these dark nets is the Orion router or Tor network. The story of Tor begins in the mid-1990s, in the corridors of the US Naval Research Laboratory. It was here that researchers first developed the concept of onion routing, a technique for anonymous communication over a computer network. The idea was to protect US intelligence communications online, but over time it evolved into something much bigger. Today, Tor is an open source project that anyone can use to browse the internet anonymously. It's named the Onion Router because it uses a technique called onion routing to hide a user's identity online. When you use Tor, your internet traffic is encrypted and bounced through a series of volunteer-run servers called nodes. Each node only knows the identity of the previous node and the next one in the chain, much like the layers of an onion. By the time your data reaches its final destination, it's been wrapped in so many layers of encryption that its original source is virtually untraceable. But how does one actually access this hidden world? The process begins with downloading and installing a specialized privacy-focused browser like Tor. Once installed, you'll need to adjust the security settings according to your needs. Tor offers different security levels, from standard to the most secure, which disables all scripts and only allows access to a fraction of the web. With Tor, you can access deep websites that end in .onion, a suffix indicating that the website is on the Tor network. However, it's vital to remember that security on the deep web and dark web is not guaranteed. While Tor offers a high degree of privacy, it's not infallible. Both legal and security risks associated with accessing the deep web and dark web. Now let's move on to how Tor actually works. When you connect through Tor, your request doesn't go directly to the website. Instead, it is encrypted and sent through a series of nodes in the Tor network. Each node only knows where the request came from and where it's sending it, but it can't see the entire path of the request. As the onion we talked about before, with each node peeling away a layer of encryption. Only the final node, known as the exit node, can see the final request and sends it to the destination website. But even this node doesn't know your original location or identity. Throughout this process, your identity and location remain hidden. At each step, a new layer of encryption is added, like the layers of an onion. Each node only depicts one layer to reveal the location of the next node in the network. This means no individual node knows both the original source and the final destination of the data, providing a high degree of anonymity. It's important to mention that Tor nodes are distributed worldwide and maintained by volunteers. Each contributes to the robustness and anonymity of the network. However, this also poses a series of challenges and risks, as not all nodes can be trusted. While Tor is a powerful tool for anonymity, it's not completely impenetrable. For example, malicious exit nodes in the Tor network can pose a risk. If a malicious actor controls this node, they can potentially see and modify the traffic passing through it. Although they won't be able to trace the information back to your exact location, they can see which websites you're accessing. And goodbye anonymity. Another potential risk is what's known as traffic correlation attack. In this scenario, if a single actor controls both the first node in the Tor network, the entry node, and the last node, the exit node, they could potentially correlate traffic patterns and identify a user. This is the way that law enforcement and security agencies have used to infiltrate the dark web and track illegal activities. They've even operated their own nodes to collect information. However, this doesn't mean that a Tor user is automatically at risk. Taking additional precautions like using VPN services or careful browsing can help mitigate these risks. But wait a minute, because using Tor isn't exactly illegal. Now, the activities on the dark web, those are. So from here, it's about being careful and discreet. Those are crucial when navigating the dark web. On the one hand, we have the not-so-dark hidden services, websites with .onion addresses that can only be accessed through the Tor network. These sites offer a level of anonymity to both visitors and website operators that's simply not possible on the surface web. Some of these hidden services serve noble purposes: secure drop boxes for whistleblowers and journalists, forums for political dissidents in oppressive regimes, uncensored news sites, and information repositories. We can throw out a few names here. Take for example SecureDrop, a platform used by news organizations worldwide to securely receive documents from anonymous sources. This tool has become invaluable for investigative journalists, allowing them to communicate with whistleblowers without compromising their sources' identities. In countries with strict censorship, the dark web provides a lifeline to uncensored information, allowing citizens to bypass government-imposed firewalls and access the free flow of ideas. However, the same anonymity that protects political dissidents and journalists also shields those with less noble intentions. For many, the dark web is synonymous with criminal activity, and with good reason. The most infamous aspect of the dark web is undoubtedly its online drug markets. The story of Silk Road, the first modern darknet market, reads like a high-tech thriller. Launched in 2011 by a young librarian named Ross Ulbricht, known online as Dread Pirate Roberts, Silk Road quickly became the Amazon of illegal hard drugs. It combined Bitcoin payments with Tor's anonymity to create a marketplace where users could buy and sell drugs with relative ease and security. For 2 years, Silk Road operated in plain sight, confounding law enforcement agencies worldwide. It worked wonderfully for that business, until Ulbricht was arrested in October 2013 at a public library in San Francisco, while he was hunched over his laptop. Before his capture, it is estimated that around 150,000 users took advantage of the Silk Road network structure to trade drugs and other illegal goods, generating a considerable volume of illicit business. How much money are we talking about exactly? In 2013, it was estimated that Ulbricht, the administrator, was receiving around $1 million annually just from the commissions charged on transactions on his site. Additionally, the authorities seized bitcoins from him, valued at approximately $3.6 million at that time, marking the largest seizure of this cryptocurrency to date. These figures reflect the magnitude of the illegal operations that took place in this virtual black market before its takedown. But of course, the shutdown of this site only spawned numerous copycat markets. They cut off one head and 1,000 more sprouted. The fall of Silk Road marked a turning point in the history of the dark web. It demonstrated both the potential for anonymous online marketplaces and the determination of law enforcement to shut them down. In the years since, we've seen a constant cat-and-mouse game between darknet markets and police forces worldwide. In 2017, another giant fell, Alphabay. It had become a behemoth in the shadowy world of online illegal trade. With over 200,000 users and 40,000 vendors, it facilitated the exchange of everything from drugs and weapons to stolen data and counterfeit documents. The site's annual revenue was estimated at a staggering $1 billion, dwarfing its infamous predecessor, Silk Road. The thing is that as soon as one market is shut down, another seems to spring up in its place, each iteration learning from the mistakes of its predecessors. Beyond drugs, the dark web hosts markets for all manner of illicit goods and services. Stolen credit card numbers, counterfeit currency, forged documents, and even illegal weapons can be found for sale in its shadowy bazaars. Cybercriminals use these hidden forums to exchange hacking techniques, trade in stolen data, and offer their services for hire. But as you may already know, one particularly disturbing aspect of the dark web is its role in the distribution of illegal pornography, and that includes child exploitation material. It's the dark side of humanity's shady dealings. The law does everything it can to stop it, but the anonymous nature sometimes makes these efforts futile, or they can catch them when it's already too late. You might wonder, why do they exist? And the answer is so simple it's unnerving. They make a lot of money. And not just any money, it's practically untraceable, hidden in blockchains without the oversight of banks. The rise of cryptocurrencies has been intimately tied to the growth of the dark web. Bitcoin in particular has been a game changer for anonymous online transactions. Its decentralized nature and pseudonymous transactions make it ideal for those seeking to conduct business away from prying eyes. Although all Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a public blockchain, the identities of the people behind these transactions can be difficult to trace, especially if additional precautions are taken. There are even cryptocurrencies like Monero and Zcash that offer even more privacy, completely hiding the source, amount, and destination of transactions. These cryptocurrencies are gaining popularity on the dark web. But how much money actually moves through the dark web? It's difficult to determine precisely due to its clandestine nature. However, it's estimated that hundreds of millions of dollars move through illicit markets alone each year. And remember, this is just a fraction of all dark web activity. And although it is true that these markets for hard drugs, adult material, which can be quite disgusting at times, weapons, and all that sound creepy, there is also another trade happening here that involves all of us without our knowledge: the market for personal data. Our name, email address, home address, and digital habits are extremely valuable information, even though we don't often give it much importance. But here on the dark web, it holds a lot of value. Practically every week there is a case of hackers stealing data from servers, and this is where it ends up. And it sells very well. Credit card data, $6 to $10. Scanned driver's license, between $5 and $20. Selfie with documents, $40 to $60. Medical history, $1 to $30. Identification, full name, date of birth, email, phone number, $10. Considering that each hack can steal hundreds of thousands of data points and that the demand is high, this can easily become a very profitable business for those criminals who want to carry out scams in your name, perform phishing, directly steal all your money, or even extort you, especially when images or videos are stolen. So if you've ever received a scam call, it's very likely that someone sold your information to that scammer. So yes, you can imagine your data being traded out there in the dark side of the internet. Even so, even after everything we've talked about, it's good to understand that the dark web isn't inherently evil. Maybe it's just that people do terrible things when no one is watching. Because like any tool, it can be used for both positive and negative purposes. Many legitimate organizations maintain a presence on the dark web. For instance, Facebook has a .onion version of its site to allow access in countries where it's blocked. The BBC, New York Times, and other media outlets have dark web mirrors to circumvent sponsorship in certain regions. So to truly understand the dark web, it's essential to look beyond the sensationalized headlines and recognize its complexity. While it does harbour illegal activities, we can't ignore that it also serves as a crucial tool for privacy, free speech, and circumventing censorship. So here we find ourselves at an impasse. The dark web is, in many ways, a microcosm of the broader challenges we face in the digital age. It highlights the tension between privacy and security, the power of encryption, and the double-edged nature of anonymity online. What happens in the darkest corners is terrible, but the technology that enables anonymity is brilliant. Imagine if we could find a way to truly use it for good. It's a complex ecosystem that reflects both the best and worst aspects of human nature. How do we balance the need for online anonymity with the need to prevent cybercrime? Can we create a digital world that protects privacy without becoming a safe harbor for illegal activities? Can we put a light in the shadowy corners of the internet? If you've been bitten by the curiosity bug and decide to delve into the depths of the web to see with your own eyes, remember the recommendations we've given you in this video and protect yourself. This isn't a game. Use a good VPN, proceed at your own risk, and please don't do anything illegal. Before you go, like this video, comment and subscribe to the channel for more. Be safe, and until next time.